Welcome back to Andersen Acres. We are out here in the bunny areas today, the bunny paradise, even though it doesn't quite have its own fence yet. But we're out here today with Mr. Otterton, and behind him, that's actually Twig. Okay, that's Twig back there, not Slate. Unfortunately, Slate did pass away. He was quite elderly, and he ended up with bloat, and it just didn't go well. He needed to be put down, and it was a shame, but he was quite old, and the vet did everything he could, but there's a limit to what even the vet can do. So unfortunately, he did pass away, and now we have his son Twig, who we kept from the litter before. Okay. So now that we have introduced you, you can't really see him because he's hiding behind Mr. Otterton right now, but now that we have introduced you to Mr. Twig there, I wanted to talk today about rabbit vocalizations. So many people would be surprised to realize that rabbits make noises at all. Okay, they are considered quiet pets, pets that communicate primarily with body language, and that's true, they are. You can usually tell what your rabbit is thinking by observing their behavior. The leaping and the running, the flopping and the stretching, all of those are cues as to what your rabbit is thinking and feeling. And if you see a bunny binky, the high jumping and the kicking out of the feet, your rabbit is having a fine old time. Okay? But rabbits also do use sound to communicate. We don't always hear them, but they do. These sounds are mostly quiet. The exception is the scream. You never want to hear a scream because it's absolutely terrifying and it doesn't mean anything good. But the scream is the loud sound. So, there you go. You can see them better. If you listen, you will hear the sounds of your fluffle. Okay? If you listen, you do have to pay attention. So, what are some of the sounds you might hear? Well, one of the sounds you might hear is clucking. This is a sound unique to rabbits. It's not like a chicken. Okay, it's not like hearing a chicken cluck. It's entirely different, but it is a cluck. It's quiet and almost impossible to hear if you're not right beside the rabbit, and it always happens when they're eating. It means they like what they're munching on. Actually, I can hear right now. You probably can't. Actually, you definitely can't because the microphone's pointed towards me. But Twig there, I think it's Twig, is possibly clucking. I can hear something. I can't. I think it's Twig. It might be Mr. Otterton. It's not usually Mr. Otterton. He doesn't cluck very often. But I think Twig might be. It means they're like what they're munching on. Gemini, my Holland Lop, only clucks when she's eating strawberries. She loves strawberries. Oh, let's get a better look at Twig. Look how beautiful he is. He's a very pretty boy. He's a pretty, pretty boy. So, clucking is good, okay? Means they like what they're munching on. Another sound you might hear is grinding teeth. Okay, grinding teeth is not good. It sounds like a quiet scraping, and it literally is the grinding of their teeth. Now, there are two sounds that are made by the rubbing of teeth. The other one is purring, but you will not mistake a purr for a growl. It's not gonna. You will be able to tell it. Purr for a grind anyway, not growl. But purring and grinding sound different. They're made with the same mechanism, the rubbing of the teeth, but you won't mistake the two. Grinding sounds like grinding. It's coarse and sharp, and it generally means your rabbit hurts. Okay, he's in pain. Check him over immediately, and find out what's going on. You probably will need to seek medical attention at that point. Teeth grinding means they hurt a lot. Okay, it's not a little hurt, it's a lot hurt. Purring, which we talked about a second ago, is the other sound they make with their teeth, and it's an adorable sound. This is when the teeth are rubbing lightly against each other, making a purring sound that's similar to a cat purr. It means happiness and contentment. Happy rabbits do occasionally purr, but it's really quiet, so you have to be right next to them and listening closely to hear it. Another sound that Mr. Otterton makes is a hum. Humming is often heard by a buck attempting to woo his lady. But, Mr. Otterton is neutered. He doesn't woo ladies anymore, but that's not the only reason they hum. Generally, it means your rabbit wants something or is trying to convince someone to give him something. Okay? So, Mr. Otterton, right there, Mr. Otterton, he purrs, not purrs, he hums to get cucumbers. If you have cucumbers, he's going to hum for them because he wants cucumbers. He loves cucumbers. So, Mr. Otterton is a hummer. Not the car, he just hums. He's also a very attractive big boy. Good boy. Growling is another sound, and you may have heard this one. It's a warning. A rabbit who is growling at you is about to lunge or even bite. Take heed, get out of the way. Hissing. You're probably not going to have your rabbit hiss at you. It's unlikely. It's not a pleasant sound, but it's not normally directed towards people. Typically, a rabbit hisses to ward off other rabbits that are entering their territory. So if your rabbit is hissing at you, you need to work on your relationship you have with your bunny because they're saying, get out of my space. And that is not a common thing for rabbits to say to people. Okay, so if your rabbit's hissing at you, evaluate where you went wrong in your relationship because it's not good. Whining or whimpering. This isn't good. Whining or whimpering means your rabbit does not like what's happening. Maybe he doesn't want to be picked up. Maybe he doesn't like the rabbits that he's housed with. This sound often will come from a pregnant doe if she doesn't want company or she doesn't want a buck near her right now. She doesn't want a buck to mate with her because she's already pregnant, so she may whine or whimper to get him to go away. When your rabbit is whining or whimpering, absolutely find out why. Find out what your rabbit doesn't like and see if you can fix that problem. Snorting or grunting. This one you'll hear all the time. This is actually kind of a funny sound. It means a rabbit is annoyed by something, not actually upset, annoyed. Sometimes this can come right before a growl, but sometimes it's just a sound of displeasure. Sometimes it's accompanied by a foot thump because they're real mad at you. One of our does does grunt. She digs holes, so I can't really see Andersen right now from where I am because she's behind the other hutch. But Andersen, I'll show you a picture of Andersen because I'm not going to get up to film her because I'm sitting on the ground. But Andersen, she likes to grunt because she digs a hole and then my son Rowan fills it in and she really gets angry. So she starts grunting at him. She wasn't warning him or getting ready to growl or bite. She was just annoyed at him for stopping the fun. So that's what that sound typically is. It's kind of funny. Now we come to the sound you do not want to hear. Okay? I mentioned it right at the top of the video. Screaming. You do not want to hear your rabbit scream. If you do hear your rabbit scream, it's not a sound you'll quickly forget. It sounds almost exactly like a screaming child, and it will give you the chills. Never, ever ignore the screams of rabbits. It's never a false alarm, and they never scream to mess with you. I recently had someone suggest that maybe rabbits sometimes will scream just to upset you. The answer is no. They will not ever do that. Not under any circumstances. Not going to happen. Okay? There's a problem, and you need to address it right now. Screaming is not something you hear often, and it is not something to take lightly. Screaming usually only happens when a rabbit is being chased by a predator and they're sure they're about to die. Okay? Generally, a scream means, I don't know what else to do. I think this is the end. Goodbye. So if you hear that sound, get out there. There might be a fox. Something is going on. Okay? If you hear it, get out to your rabbitry and help your endangered rabbits. There is something terrible happening. Okay? Screams do not happen often, and they are absolutely not a sound to be taken lightly. You need to get out there. So a rabbit scream is horrible. Okay? Horrible, horrible sound. So you hear a scream, get out there. They need you. They need you badly. Okay? So just take it seriously. That's pretty much all the sounds you're going to hear. You know, most common is the grunt when they're irritated with you. But other sounds you may hear or you may not. But they do make sounds quite often. You just probably can't hear them. So rabbits are not a noisy animal, but they do talk. If you listen what they have to say to what they have to say, it'll only enhance your relationship with your bunnies. So it is important to listen, to pay attention, and act when you need to. Okay? Because they are trying to tell you something. They're not just making noise. They're saying something. So listen up and bond with your rabbits. Learn what they're trying to tell you. That's about it for us here at Andersen Acres. We'll see you tomorrow.